And my challenge, the ancient laws of combat met at this chosen ground and settled for good all who hold sway over 5 points.
Hi guys, Billy back. This is a video of a work in progress I'm doing at the moment. I want to make a Bill the Butcher figure and I do not have the budget for like an amazing custom built figure. You know, like the ones like Rain Man did, and they had specific clothing made by certain, custom artists. They put them all together in an amalgamation to make these really nice Bill the Butcher figures. I don't have that budget. So I decided to try and do one best way that I could for a reasonable price. Now, by reasonable, I don't mean cheap. I don't mean like the cheapest of the cheap, but I want, it's very hard to get the parts, it's very hard to get the items together. Now, first and foremost, the reason this inspired me was because I saw a Sweeney Todd body and clothing set on eBay, and I started thinking, because I saw it and it was for a good price, and I was like, there really are good clothing. Sweeney Todd clothing is really good. What could I do with that figure? And I started thinking about the era that it comes from, and Bill the Butcher and Sweeney Todd come from a very similar era, and they're not that far apart in terms of the age of the characters. They were both sort of existing in the world at the same time. So I decided that might be a good idea to try, but it was difficult to sort of envision. So I looked at loads of pictures online, and then I decided that I was going to give it a go, because why the hell not? I saw that Headplay did a head sculpt online. This is possibly a recast of I'm not sure if it's a Minimine one or if it is actually a Rayman recast, but I run into a wall with it because it's too small, just a bit too tiny. It's more 1/7 than 1/6, and it just doesn't look right on most 1/6 scale bodies. So that's a bit of a problem. I've gone online and I've spoken to someone very special, and I've asked them if they are able to do one, and I put an order in. So I am hoping that they actually get that done, which means that this Headplay head sculpt will be a placeholder for the actual head sculpt I'm going to get. That's the plan. That's what I hope for. And there was a few problems I had. First and foremost, you've got the waistcoat that Sweeney Todd wears and the shirt. Now the waistcoat, I'm very tempted to try and get someone to cut this off here and cut this off here and make it a bit lower, and then it would be an absolutely fine waistcoat. I really like the shirt. I don't know whether or not I'm going to weather this shirt, or in another way I'm going to replace it with this shirt here. The buttons need to be lightened up because obviously they're supposed to be white, not dark, but it's quite a nice offish colour. It's got a little bit of weathering in it, and it's almost from it's from the Civil War, basically, the American Civil War, which would have been about the same time. So this would be a reasonable shirt to use for this figure, and then I can roll the sleeves up. So I'm tempted to replace this shirt with that, but this is a really nice quality shirt, and I am tempted to weather that one and just make it a little bit more Bill the Butchery, so to speak, if that's even a word. Then came the other issue I had, which was the knife belt. As you can see, there is a knife belt on there, and the reason there's a knife belt on there is because I made it. I bought some brown pleather and I just cut some shapes out of it, and I have hand stitched this knife belt around it. As you can see, it is very rough, but it is weathered, and I made the knives myself, as we can see. And I've used the original Sweeney Todd belt, and I've put another leather strap around it to try and make it thicker and make it look a bit more screen accurate. Now, it took a little while to make these knives, but very, very simply, I used styrene sheets and a little bit of wood and coat hanger wire. So what I did was I cut out the knife shape that I wanted. Then I glued on or stuck on the handles, the wooden handles. Not balsa wood, it's the next one up. I can't fully remember the name of it now. Maybe basswood or something like that, or satin wood. But you can still cut it with a craft knife, but it's thicker and it's a lot less flimsy than balsa wood. But I used that, stuck it on. Then I drilled 2 holes into each handle, and then I put in a tiny clipping of hanger wire inside each one, and then used a Dremel just to sand them down. Be careful, don't use too much heat. If they start getting hot, they start to warp the plastic. So I gently did it over a period of about 5 minutes, gently sanded down the coat hanger wire so that it fit into the actual knife handle. And then I did the same for all the other knives until I had a set of butcher knives that would work. I also added a little bit of gunmetal brushing, dry brushing to the knives to make them look a bit more weathered and more used. I haven't used any blood splatter effect yet because I'm not sure if I'm going to use blood splatter. But again, you can notice that the trousers are the wrong colour, but you know, you can't have everything. I can't have absolutely everything. But what I did manage to secure, and it is a genuine Bill the Butcher item, is the iris overcoat, which is on the left there. I've just got it there posed on a stock body just for the moment to show it off. But this is, it's absolutely beautiful. The stitching is fine. There is some amazing weathering, really great pleats in there. Oh, it's worth the money, that's for sure. And that was worth paying for, because certain things you can't go cheap on, and that is definitely something. You can't really get this. It's not like you can go online and find loads of these types of overcoats from Victorian era, even the 1/6 scale world. That's going to be going on him as well. But as you can see, I decided, I bought a pair of much more basic shoes down the bottom here. I bought very, very rustic shoes because I did have these ones on there to begin with, but they were just too big. They're like clown shoes. They're so long. If I put it next to the normal foot, the normal one, and it just doesn't work very well. So yeah, I'm going to brown those up a little bit more, a bit more weathering on these, and these should work a little better, I think. But I need to find a sash. I need to either make one or secure one from somewhere, and I don't know where, because you need the red, white and blue sash that he has around his waist as well. This is as far as I've got. Let me just show you the head. It's just a little bit too small. It's not a bad head sculpt, and the paint app is actually really good. It's not that bad. I know people slag off head play a lot because of their situation, but if it wasn't for the size, it would be a nice head sculpt. It's just that where it's like a recast, maybe of a recast of a recast, it's just shrank just a little bit too much, and it looks like a peanut on this body. But it is a good placeholder for an official one, which I hope to get. But if it doesn't come through, it doesn't come through. I'm willing to be patient. But that's it, guys. That's just an update on how far I've got with this new Kitbash. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. If you could do me a favour, if you could just go and get the fuck out of my cave. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye bye.